Esmira Jafarova is from the Centre of Analysis of International Relations and joins us now. A very warm welcome to you. Thank you for your time. Historic talks these. The first time I understand these parties have sat down and discussed the future. What more can you tell us about the outcome of these talks, which I assume is the first round of several?
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me. Yes, indeed, today the dialogue took place between Azerbaijani representatives and the representative of Armenian community in Karabakh, but this is not the first meeting. There was the very first meeting that took place in Khankendi many months before. However, there was also the participation of the Russian peacekeepers. But later, Azerbaijan also invited Karabakh Armenians for a next round of talks in Baku and also before in Yevlax as well. But they were prevented from participating in the next rounds of talks because they were held back and they were hindered by their separatist forces in Karabakh. However, this is the first meeting, as you said, after the short military operation ended and ceasefire took hold. So, however, it was also mentioned in the joint press release, in the press release distributed by the presidential administration of Azerbaijan, that there was an agreement and understanding that this has to be not the first and the last meeting. There should be many more meetings to come after this meeting. So there were some results discussed, also delivered in the meeting, and one of them was that the clauses of the ceasefire agreement should hold firm, and one of them was that these militias should disarm and should lay down their guns. And also Karabakh Armenians asked for some help in terms of fuel, in terms of humanitarian aid, in terms of some goods delivered to them. And Azerbaijani authorities accepted their request, and there will be furthermore, let's say, actions taken in this regard.
So those are the initial steps. What about a draft proposal, let's say, for a longer-term peace agreement? Is something like that on the table, and do we know what the terms might be?
Well, the peace agreement are currently being discussed not with Karabakh Armenians, but with Armenia proper, because the 44-day war in 2020 happened between Armenia and Azerbaijan, because, you know, Armenia actually was the main reason that Azerbaijani territories were under occupation. And these Karabakh Armenians, the separatist forces, they were actually supported and protected by Armenia proper. So if you're asking that particular issue, yes, the peace talks have to be continued between Armenia and Azerbaijan. There were some problems along the way because, again, Armenia decided sometimes to embark on controversial statements. For example, recently there was this so-called sham elections in the Karabakh region where they tried to elect the so-called president. And also Nikol Pashinyan sent a letter of congratulation on the occasion of their so-called establishment of the Karabakh. So, you know, the steps that were incendiary purpose, that bared incendiary purpose and didn't really serve the purpose of peace treaty, peace deal. They were actually blocking the promotion of peace agenda. But however, I'm sure and I believe that the parties want to achieve peace, and they will work towards peace. And there are works of the mediators that are trying to mediate the peace process. But as I said, there are some bumps along the way, and Armenia's behavior isn't really helping much. But we are hopeful that slowly but surely we'll get there. This short military operation also happened because Armenia was not abiding by its commitments under the November 2020 agreement, where they had to withdraw all their militias in the liberated Azerbaijani lands. Up to this military operation, they were holding up to 10,000 militias in the liberated Azerbaijani lands, where the temporary peacekeepers of the Russian Federation are located. But after this short targeted military operation, most of these militias, most of these military formations were destroyed. So, but, you know, this didn't happen. It didn't have to happen this way because Azerbaijan was sending lots of signals, lots of warnings that they had to leave according to the November 2020 declaration. Armenia shouldn't have created problems with regard to landmine contamination in the liberated Azerbaijani lands. But on 19th of September, 7 Azerbaijani policemen were killed only because Armenia planted more and more landmines, having infiltrated into Azerbaijani territories after the war was over. So, you know, there were lots of negativity and lots of let's say, security threats coming up from Armenia proper. So again, these are the issues that constitute problem for the peace process. But Azerbaijani authorities are hopeful that peace can still happen, and we are open to dialogue and negotiations, both with Armenia and also our residents, our citizens in Karabakh.
And what do you think will become of this significant population of ethnic Armenians? Armenia itself says it's not preparing for a large exodus of these people to Armenia. How do you see that playing out?
Well, no one is actually expelling them, and no one is talking about their exodus to Armenia. Those are the trumped up allegations against Azerbaijan, as if Azerbaijan is trying to expel this population, which is absolutely not true. We have said it on many occasions that, and we still continue saying that these people, those population in Karabakh, they are our citizens and they will be protected under our laws and constitution. And Azerbaijani authorities also have established and formulated a plan of action, how to talk to these people, how to ensure their educational right, their cultural rights. And this meeting that happened in Yevlakh actually bear the purpose of having this mutual discussion and understanding of how their rights and security may be protected by Azerbaijani authorities and under Azerbaijani laws and constitutions. So again, these are our citizens, and our Azerbaijani government has repeatedly said that they are ready to give them all their rights under Azerbaijani constitution.
Esmira, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Esmira Jafarova there from Istanbul.